The Longbox Crusade presents
G.I. Joe Chronicles.
Don't they realize they're dealing with Destro?
When I choose Judge Bucket, they're gonna scrape you off the walls with a squeegee.
Now stop stuttering like a wet toaster and get busy!
Welcome to G.I. Joe Chronicles. I'm one of your commanders, Pat Sampson, codename DJ Kristatos. And joining me, as always, is my battle buddy in this operation. It is Jarrod Pat, codename Death Probe.
That is a prescription for danger, Pat. Hey, man, I just got back from Orsted's training this week.
Yeah, what was it?
His training, it was in costume design and color swaps. And it was pretty legit for once. Like, it was all about various fabrics that you can use to change costumes design, color swaps, things like that. So I don't really have any. I can see heavy on the tie dye.
Yeah,
you know.
I thought maybe too it would be like velour or like a velvety kind of a jumpsuit.
He likes a lot of natural fibers.
Yeah,
so you know. So.
Anyway,
yeah. Not
open toes
sandals.
You know,
not things you would use in combat necessarily, but you know he's trying. So, so anyways. I want to welcome all the green shirts that are tuning in for the podcast. Welcome to Fort Longbox. And I want to welcome our super secret Crusaders Club members that are in the backstage access watching us record this live. That includes Matt Passo, Captivity and Kathy Bright, Auburn Elvis, Heinz Cook, and Django Unfettered so far. Quite a showing. Normally we have Jim Meal in the chat, but he decided not to join the chat today for some reason. But hey, we'll get into that later. We do appreciate everyone tuning in. By the way, if you want to get in on that super secret chat thing, that's via our Patreon. That's how you join Crusaders Club. Patreon.com/Longbox Crusade. For as little as $1 a month, you too could be in on the recording secrets. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. We appreciate everybody that's here tuning in to talk G.I. Joe comics with us as we chronicle our way through G.I. Joe America's Elite on this episode. Next episode, we will return to our coverage of G.I. Joe Special Missions by Marvel. But for this episode, we are back in America's Elite that launched in 2005. On this episode of G.I. Joe Chronicles, DJ Kristatos and I are rotating in a special ops guest for the show. And this would explain why he's not in the chat. It is our old friend and host of the Outpost. It is Jim the Joe Junkie. Welcome back, Jim.
Hey, Pat. Hey, Jarrod. How we doing?
We are doing great, man. You've been on the show before, so we've asked you about your Joes, your Cobras. I think you've been on. Have you been on twice? We asked you vehicles as well.
I think this will be my third round.
Third time?
Yep.
All right. So off the top of my head, I didn't even put this in the script or nothing because frankly, we didn't know you were joining us as a guest until last night.
This could be dangerous.
No, you're going to be good on this. You're going to be good on this because I'm not going to hold you to it. Just whatever pops into your head as your top 3 favorite G.I. Joe covers.
Oh, covers. Do I have to stick with
yes,
Marvel,
the bed sheets count. The bed sheets count. Those also guys cover. No, any run. You can talk Marvel, America's Elite, Devil's Due, Special Missions, all that. Whatever came to mind.
I'm going to have to go with issue 63 of the Marvel run.
All right, remind everybody real quick.
That is the one with Snake Eyes and Scarlet and the Minefield.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And I have to go with Python Patrol, the issue 88. That was my first Joe issue.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
And then probably, number 3. I'm going old school with all the Marvel. Issue 100 with the return of the original Cobra Commander.
Okay.
Red background with he's just standing there.
Standing there, yep.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was a good one.
Nice. So. All right. I'm glad that you were prepared and you had some great answers. Good answers all, Jim. And now I will turn it back over to DJ Kristatos for this episode's intelligence report.
Well, Jarrod, I'm glad you asked. For this mission, we will be covering G.I. Joe America's Elite number 10. Publisher was Devil's Due. Cover date was April 2006. Writer was Joe Casey. Artist is Nelson Blake II. Inker is John Lowe. Colorist is Danielle Rudani. Letterer is Brian Crowley. Cover art goes to Stefano Caselli, and IFS. And speaking about that cover, Death Probe, please take us through the cover description.
Take cover!
All right, Pat, issue 10's cover depicts Duke. And brace yourself, everyone. He's been captured.
Wait a minute. I thought that just happened in the cartoons.
I know you've been keeping track of this, Jim, so feel free to add this to your tracker.
Yeah, Duke, add that to my Duke capture count.
Oh, Duke.
Duke again. He's dangling upside down from trees in the jungle, but he seems far from defeated with an intense look of determination on his face. Wasting no time in the chat, we have Matt Passo say, I'm a fan of this cover. Duke in peril, strung up by his feet, getting payback for robbing Serpentor of his ultimate victory in the movie. A lot going on here. But that's Matt's thoughts. Let's start with the guest, Jim the Joe Junkie. Thoughts on the cover of 10?
Just like Matt, I like the cover, the peril, the angle is great. And I am not an artist by any stretch, but can physiology or body, can his neck actually bend that far to where he'd be looking at us from that angle? That's the only issue I see with this cover. Other than that, it's great. I like it.
I think it can, if the way the lens is looking at it, it's kind of rakishy.
Yeah.
With that rakish bend angle. Yes. That's my thought on it.
Yeah.
Rakish Bend was my nickname in college.
Yes.
By the way, the the term here is worm's eye view.
Okay.
Worm's eye view. With that, Pat, thoughts on the cover?
See, I would have thought it'd be more of like he's looking down at us and we're the capture or we're the guy that, like we're holding him up there. That's the way I would think of it. But I dig this cover. I think it's kind of cool. That rakishy kind of angle that it has and him looking down at you kind of mean and being all dookie, that he's not going to, he's all dookie. And I like the burst of the sun that's in the upper left-hand corner and that just kind of trickles down onto the rest of the art. That's cool. Coloring it is definitely a lot on this one.
Yeah, that sunburst adds a heat factor, and one of the details you see the sweat dripping off of him, off of his face. That sun really accentuates that. Yeah, I've said this about 100 times since we started the Devil's Due run. Devil's Due did an amazing thing, which was make me care about Duke, and this is one of those covers that does that. Like, I immediately thought of this cover when I thought of Duke in the Devil's Due run. I just like it a lot because there's a lot going on between him being captured and you got the chains and the heat of the jungle and it doesn't look good, but the facial expression says you're actually in more trouble than he is. And I like that. That facial expression absolutely nails this cover for me. Yeah. Love the greens and browns of the jungle. To get me excited about a Duke cover is pretty sweet.
Speaking of which, Jarrod, did you happen to read some of the letters in the back? Somebody brought up that he was not a fan of Duke until Devil's Due.
Did I write the letter?
No, I don't think so. I looked. I didn't see your name. So,
all right. That is excellent. And I think I hijacked your section of
I think you did, Jarrod. That's why I'm like, well, what do I do now? I don't know what to do with my hands.
You do your job. I think that we're about to get into the scoring portion, which back to you people in the chat, 1 to 10's in the chat. I'll keep it on that, Pat, while you do your thing.
Sounds good. Now it's time to rate this cover on a scale of 1 to 10 flag points. 1 meaning you didn't like it at all, and 10 meaning it's perfect and you should make this a recruiting poster for your tropical island getaways. Let's go ahead and go to Jim. What would you rate this issue's cover?
As I said, I like the cover. The only issue is to me it looks a little funny, but all the points that you and Jarrod said were great, and I'm going to give it a 9. Even with that weird angle, that weird neck bend, I give it a 9.
Jim's coming in at a 9. Jarrod, where do you stand?
I don't know how the rules work specifically, but as far as I'm concerned, Jim and I are two cool guys because I'm also coming in at a 9. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. What about you, Pat? Are you going to make us officially cool guys or are you going to make us some kind of chumps?
Well, the official ruling here is it can only be done when I do it.
Oh, my bad.
So yeah. I mean, you can try to do your own, but it doesn't really count until I say officially 3 cool guys.
Woo!
Coming in at a 9. Woo!
Oh, I like it. I'll check in with the chat, by the way. Django Unfettered gives it an 8. Matt Postle says, I give it a 7. Strong cover, great art, but if I had 1 or 2 Cobras, I might bump it up to an 8. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
And then Kathleen gave it an 8.5, which is not allowed. It's not. So Jim, as the guest, can choose whether to round Kathleen's score up or down.
Oh, I'm going to round it up. She can join us
on Cool Guy Island.
Cool Guy Island.
Yeah. There you go. 4 cool guys. All right. Well, with the cover out of the way, let's go ahead and get back to Death Probe for the story synopsis in our missions brief.
Look in the eyes of a hero and see the sacrifice within. There's no way out for the hero. He only lives to fight again. Heroes stand tall, not for fortune or fame, but death, freedom, because we all just wanted the same. Real heroes don't give up.
All right, keep up with me on this one, folks. Stalker, Flint, Shipwreck, Roadblock, Kamakura, and Storm Shadow absolutely gut a Cobra facility in Canada looking for any clue to the whereabouts of Snake Eyes' body, or to verify Major Blood's claim that he killed a Joe recently. No dice on either one. Meanwhile, the insane rogue Cobra Fred in the jungle reveals to Duke, while torturing him, that his true target is Cobra Commander, and he's preparing to rain down a slew of missiles on his former commander. As all this is playing out, Scarlet is keeping her vigil at the computer that monitors Snake Eyes' vitals, and in the middle of an argument with General Colton, it begins to receive data. And we see that data is coming from Kazakhstan, where the Red Ninja Clan defeat a terrorist cell along with a red-clad Snake Eyes.
Now, back to G.I. Joe.
Oh man, lots going on. Things are staying interesting here in the Joe Casey run. For more information on that, go back a few episodes for our interview with Joe Casey. That was a lot of fun. And hopefully we'll be able to reconnect with him, by the way, when we wrap up his arc. He told us to reach out for him for a wrap-up. I may have lost his email, but I know who to ask to get, to get it again. But with all that out of the way, let's do highs, lows, what those. We start with Jim, the Joe Junkie.
I'm going to go with a high. That opening sequence of Kamakura, Storm Shadow, Stalker, Roadblock, Flint, just tearing through that Cobra base. The action was great. The art was great. And I thought that as a little foreshadowing, I really like Roadblock in this one and in the upcoming Special Missions one too. So I really like Roadblock in this, just the way he took out those Cobra characters. Not somebody you would have thought would have been in that raiding party in those tight quarters. And I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah, he was kind of a literal roadblock to a couple of guys at one point.
Yep.
I want to double back to a comment that got made after we started this, but it goes back to the cover. Auburn Elvis asked a good question. He said, do you think the artist had someone lay on the floor so he get an idea of what this pose would look like? That's highly likely, Auburn Elvis. I mean, comic artists often, as you may know, or listeners may know, use reference. And I've seen a lot of, especially the military book guys, do that. They'll lay in different poses and have pictures taken of themselves to get this and that, the other. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. That's a good question.
I've tried that too, laying in some different poses, and
I took the pictures of you. I remember.
Yep. You
you
said it was for one of your covers, but I haven't seen them yet.
Well, it's actually for Crusaders Club members. Go to patreon.com/longbox crusade. For as little as $1 a month, you get all the access to Pat's poses.
All the access.
What happens at HeroCon stays at HeroesCon?
Maybe. All right, Pat. High, low, what the round one?
You know, like Jim, I really enjoyed this one. I liked the action that was happening. One thing I was kind of duped on, they said somebody died or something, or did we miss something here?
I think Blood mentioned it briefly and quickly in the last issue, and we were much more focused on the Snake Eyes story arc. So, yeah, I was a little bit like, wait, what? Myself. But I've seen nods from Jim, who has memorized every issue of every G.I. Joe comic. He's
Blood
like
claimed that he killed a G.I. Joe member.
Yeah.
But he didn't say who yet.
No, he has not said who yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, who would be the easiest one to pick off? That's something we should
That's what I was trying to think of, too. I'm like, well, who would it have been that?
Probably Orsted.
Like, nobody knows.
Hey, man, I'm just trying to get all the Joes to wear Birkenstocks. Don't be coming at me like that, Major Blood, man. All right, we'll all think of, you know what? I'm going to say
I don't know.
The Joe that Major Blood would have the highest chance of killing would be Scoop.
Scoop. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think
they actually used Scoop in an issue or two in the last arc with Devil's Due, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I think they used him.
Yeah.
Jim, you look like you had an answer. Who's Major Blood most likely to kill?
Well, I know who it is, so I can't say.
Oh. Okay, well, don't give us the right answer, but give us the funny answer.
the running joke would be Sneak Peek, because he dies in every iteration of G.I. Joe.
How did I pick Scoop over Sneak Peek?
But I do want to say you don't want to miss the 25-cent special that's going to be coming up soon.
It's the next issue.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't be missing that special if you want to find out who Major Blood killed.
Yeah, we're going to have a talk about that when we wind down these recordings tonight, of whether we're going to do the 25-cent issue by itself because it's next chronologically.
Yeah.
Or if we want to include it with it, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Pat. Who knows? I was going to say who knows. The answer is Jim knows, but we don't.
Jim knows. Yeah.
We don't remember who it was.
Yeah, I don't. But who would I say? I'm going to say, who was that basketball guy?
Well, Big Lob.
Big Lob, yeah. Not that I know.
They never really did anything with him outside of the movie. Like, I think he finally got an action figure a few years ago.
In the Collector's Club.
Yeah, from the Collector's Club. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to take for round one, and there's a lot to go with in this issue. I'm going to take an interesting moment I caught with Flint at the beginning when they were clearing out all those Cobras. Flint literally stood there and let those Cobras take a shot at him before he killed them, which I thought was kind of brilliant show don't tell characterization from Joe Casey. It might be an action beat that you kind of gloss over, but I think it's really important that he stood there and stared them down and waited for them to shoot, and then he killed them, because he just doesn't care whether he lives or dies. He doesn't care at this point. And man, that is just amazing show don't tell storytelling. And he was all too happy to kill those Cobras, but he did not care whether or not he died.
True.
And I thought that was deep, man. That was good stuff. Back to the top of the order, Jim.
I'm going to go with probably what the major storyline is: the Crimson Guard torturing Duke. The comment he said is, you're not ready for what I want to use you for yet. I thought that was intriguing.
Yeah, like, what does he get? He's got this definite vendetta against Cobra Commander. Like, what? How does Duke fit in? He's like torturing Duke. He's like, and I'm going to kill Cobra Commander. Duke's like, fine, I'll help you.
Yeah.
Let me go.
That's what I came here for. Anyway.
Why are you torturing me?
Yep. Yeah, but I thought that was just some lone Crimson Guardman out in the middle of nowhere. Because I think he showed up last issue, right? Is that when he was?
Yeah, they finally revealed him last issue.
Okay.
Yeah. He's been there for a long time, though.
Yeah, but we didn't know who he was until last issue.
Yeah.
Well, Duke thought he was chasing down Cobra Commander and ended up being this guy. So Duke's trying to actually find out if the Crimson Guard knows where Cobra Commander is, and he doesn't, but his computers do. So I thought that the interaction and that back and forth between the two was pretty good.
Yeah, that story element has just been strong since we talked about it last issue. Remember, we were all guessing on who it was he was tracking down and all that. And then we were like, it was weird because it was like kind of a letdown initially, like some random Fred.
Yeah.
Right. And then, but then, like, the more we thought about it, we were like, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
it's kind of cool. This poor Fred just basically got forgotten about and just lost his marbles down being stuck in the jungle. So in the end, I like it a lot too, Jim.
So it makes me wonder if what he's doing to Duke is some sort of a mental torture / get you changed over, kind of like he was to be a Fred mentally.
I think it's some kind of a mental game he's playing with Duke, or trying to.
So brainwashing him or something, he's going to try to break him and then brainwash him to maybe
Every kidnapping of Duke comes with a 50% chance of brainwashing.
Brainwashing. Yeah.
Oh,
Is it
man.
possible? I don't know.
By the way, in the chat, Matt Passo nominated Bazooka to be the one who got killed by Major Blood. Bazooka's clumsy enough to maybe have deep sixed himself. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Back to you, Pat. So much more to talk about in this issue. I know your Pat points list is extensive, but we're still the official rounds before you hijack the show.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just go with the talk between Kamakura and Storm Shadow. Storm Shadow becomes a little bit more teachery in this one, and Kamakura seems to be a little kind of going off in a way, kind of like Flint in a little bit, where he's just, wants to take care of whoever did this and is going to not show any kind of restraint as he does it. I liked that conversation they had, but Kamakura also coming back to him and goes, well, you wanted him, you were his enemy to begin with, and you finally won. You were the last one to see him. You finally won.
The major story beat I got from that moment, Pat, between the two of them is Kamakura is young and impetuous and Storm Shadow is older and wiser.
Yeah.
And he's like the kind of offbeat uncle to Kamakura. Like he's the bad boy uncle.
Yeah.
And he's like trying to step in and be Snake Eyes for him, but Kamakura can't. He's not ready to receive at this point. He's too emotional.
Mm-hmm.
In the chat, Django Unfettered said, I love the Devil's Due Run, but hate what they did with Storm Shadow. I'd love for you to expand upon that, Django. What really bothers you about it? I've really enjoyed Storm Shadow in this arc. I'm guessing that maybe Django means he likes Storm Shadow more as a pure Cobra villain, but feel free to expand upon that in the chat. We'll come back to you, Django. I'll end the official rounds by saying that I'll stick with the ninja theme, Pat.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the cool reveal and how they did it, of Snake Eyes' vitals coming back. They're in the middle of this argument.
That was a good argument.
Probably shouldn't be having, because Scarlet's a bit more professional than that, but emotions are high. Yeah. Right. And then they're in the middle of it, and all of a sudden it starts receiving data. And I mean, that moment was so well done that even I, as the reader, was like, a gasp,
Yeah, I was like, oh.
And then that leads into, what's going on with these red ninjas and Shebang. They seem to be killing bad guy terrorists. That's my best guess. I think that's what they were doing. And then you get that big reveal at the end of, hey, Snake Eyes is up on his feet and he's all in red. And that leads to a question I have for Jim, and then we'll let you, Pat, point it out there, Pat. Did they ever do a figure of that? Is there a red Snake Eyes? I know there's red ninja.
There's red ninjas. I don't know. I can't say for sure.
My instinct would be no, but you always know a little more than I do.
Yeah,
I'm certain someone must have done it's got to be a rather easy custom.
Oh, it's got to be.
Repainting, really. If you could do a really nice repaint job, you've got it.
Yeah. It wouldn't take much, that's for sure. But I don't know if they did an official one.
Right. Right. If you don't know, I think the answer is no. And I challenge anyone else. Jim knows more than anybody else out there.
Oh, now hold on. So I'm going to throw it back to the chat and the listeners. If you guys know for sure, let us know.
Jim says if you say there's one, you're a liar. I'm kidding. Matt Passo sounded off in the chat, and he said, I don't recall a red Snake Eyes that was official. Speaking of official, we finished our official rounds. And before I let Pat just, need I say more? Checking back in real quick with Django Unfettered, since I read Marvel 27, Storm Shadow has been a good guy in my mind. Okay. Since I read Marvel 27, that's about where that's where he kind of breaks from Cobra back. Yeah, it's all coming back to me now. Yeah, in the Marvel run. Okay. So I was wrong on my guess about Django. He kind of likes him as a good guy, and they did bring him over to Cobra on this one, and the Devils do, but now he's kind of back on the side of the Angels. They do like to play with him, and I can understand you not liking that bouncing back and forth, Django. Anyway, Jim, I was about to let you steal any Pat points before Pat could do Pat points.
Only one that you mentioned it briefly in the reveal of Snake Eyes was the conversation between Joe Colton and Scarlet. Mm-hmm. I like you. I thought that was kind of uncharacteristic of Scarlet, just because of the, as you mentioned, she's a little more professional of that. She's emotional, but I think she would have reacted a little bit differently than I think she would have been out there with the rest of the team, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, and I had to give some props to General Colton there as well. And he kind of alluded to this, but man, I got to tell you, he would have been well within his rights to be like, okay, you're sad that Snake Eyes is dead. I'm sad too. Let me tell you how many soldiers I've lost in my career.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Tighten up, soldier. This is the game that's how it's played. But he was nicer to her than I probably would have been. But he's Joe Colton. He knows what he's doing.
He's a father figure at this moment.
He
Not
is
so much a commander.
You're right. He is more of a father figure. Put your tiny hand in mine. I'll keep going if you let me. But let me stop myself and hand it over to Pat for his Pat points.
I really don't have any more. I think we all covered
that's
it.
the end of the discussion round there. I'm kidding, Pat. Go ahead.
No, I think we covered it very well. I mean, this was I don't want to say a short issue. It read by pretty quickly. I think a lot of it was a lot of the silent action that was happening that told the majority of the story, either through the paneling or the artwork and expressions in it. Artwork, I'll just mention that it was done very well, that it did portray the story to help move it along. Other than that.
Yeah, Nelson, this is his name, right? Nelson Blake the second, I think.
Second,
yeah.
Yep.
He just stepped in, I think, last issue for Caselli. Caselli's kind of on covers now. They might have split a little duty before that. But anyway, I thought he's got a real clean style, and I think it works. Yeah. I haven't seen a bad artist on this series since Devil's Due.
No, you're right. I don't think we have seen a bad artist on here.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's all I got. Pretty good issue.
All right. Looking in the chat, Matt Passo said Duke probably has had enough of crying. That's probably true. and Django just says he didn't like the way that Blaylock treated Storm Shadow. That's fair enough. We won't say any unkind words about Blaylock, though. He's been championing the show for us. Yeah. He's been a guest a few times. You're certainly welcome to have that opinion, Django, but we are contractually obligated to love Josh Blaylock for what he's done and given to our show, and we do thank him for that. With that, Pat, I think it's time for IG's report of combat readiness.
All right. And for those of you who don't speak military, that means we're going to score this issue's story on the same 1 to 10 flag point scale we used earlier on. So, Jim, on a scale of 1 to 10 flag points, what are you giving for the story?
I'm going to give it a 9. I'm going to stick with that. Same with the cover.
Mm-hmm.
A good balance of action. I'll say drama or story, and the art was good. It was a good mixture of cartoon and realism, as you guys mentioned. So all around, I thought it was a great issue.
All right. Not a bad start. Jarrod, where do you lie? Are you going higher, lower, or are you going to be even with Jim?
I invite the people in the chat who are familiar with the story to go ahead and drop their scores at this time as well. And Django Unfettered not only clears up, he says he loves the Blaylock run. So no shade at Blaylock. He's just not a fan of what direction Storm Shadow went. Fair enough. Absolutely fair enough, Django. No one is salty with you. Well, Blaylock might be for all I know, but we're not salty with you. And Django gave it a 9. So he is already trying to fortify Cool Guy Island with Jim over there. And I also am going to bring some fortifications to Cool Guy Island. Hopefully it'll be Cool Guy Island. Right now, I guess, since I'm there, it's just Fancy Guy Island. We hope to get upgraded to Cool Guy Island because I am at a 9 as well. Casey is proving time and time again why he is a top tier writer, no matter what projects he touches. Just great intrigue that makes me want to keep reading. 9 for me.
All right. Well, if you're at a 9, Jim's at a 9, you might as well go ahead and put a chain around me and hang me up just like Duke on that island, because it's a 9 for me as well too. It's a great continuation of the story that we've been going through here.
Man, just
I don't think it's the end yet, but
no. He's got. I want to say that when we interviewed Casey, I think he said something like he was on to do 12 and ended up doing like a couple more, like a couple of bonuses. Like he ended up doing maybe 14 of these. I can't remember. I want to say he was on for a certain number, but ended up doing a couple more than he'd originally talked to Josh about. Matt Passo in the chat gives it a 7, and he says it needs more Serpentor.
I want to comment. I was going to comment at Matt's comment there. I'm sure you're well aware, Matt, but wait a few more issues.
Yeah, I know.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I know there's stuff coming.
Yep.
That's the one thing about being fancy hardcover guys. I have all the covers on the back, and so I go,
And there's another mystery revealed later that's been going at. Matt just mentioned it.
There's the chat
Matt.
playing spoiler.
Yeah.
Honestly, that is the one thing I remembered about this series. So
I think we talked about that possible. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it. That's possible. We weren't 100%, Pat, but I was strongly feeling that we were heading in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
And for all those listening, going, "What the heck are they talking about?" You know what? Don't worry about it, folks. We will get there.
Stick with us, and you'll find out.
Stick with us. We'll get there. And if you were in the live chat, you'd know. And you know how you do that? Longbox Crusade over on Patreon.com for as little as $1 a month. You too could be in the Super Secret Kids Club. And Matt Passo says it's literally all he remembers as well. Yeah, same here.
All right. Well, now that we've got the rating out of the way, it's time to give an award. And that reward can be either a Silver Star medal or a Silver Snake. That's a Silver Star medal for gallantry in action or a Silver Snake for sneaky snaky-tude in this issue. This is where each of us get to award a character can be one of those awards. So let's go ahead and go to Jim. Do you have a Silver Star or a Silver Snake to give away?
Silver Snake. And I'm going to go with a CG that's torturing Duke.
All right,
messing with his mind, messing with his head. And he's got a plan. Will Duke let him launch all those missiles, or is Duke going to stop him? But I'm going to give that Silver Snake to the Crimson Guard.
All right. Not a bad choice. Jarrod, what would you be handing out? Silver Snake or a Silver Star?
You know, I was going to try to be clever and kind of think on my feet, but I had already planned in mind a Silver Snake for Fred, CG, Crimson Guardsman, Crazy Crimson Guardsman, CCG. So, yeah, I mean, that's just, it grows on me more and more. With like I said, when it was first revealed, hey, it's just some random Fred, I was like, oh. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, that's clever. And now I'm fully invested. So, yeah, I got to go Crimson Guardsman with the Silver Snake. It is the most intriguing part of the story, which says something because we have Snake Eyes' reanimated corpse running around being a ninja.
Yep.
And somehow this Fred is more intriguing than that. But it's close. But anyway.
But you knew at some point Snake Eyes was going to come back.
Yeah.
Right.
Even when this was on the newsstand, you knew Snake Eyes was coming back.
Yeah,
at some point.
You don't kill off Cash Cow. That's his other code name. Cash Cow.
Yeah, that's true. So I think we've been invested in this storyline for a while to see it come to an end or to see what it becomes of it, as I think is what really is interesting. And I would give the same to the Crimson Guard as well as Silver Snake, but I'll just flip it and give it a Silver Star to Roadblock with his headbutt to the guy.
I like it.
He did his job. He blocked it and he stopped him from getting going and erasing any data or whatever that they could. And what other thing is the twins working on? You know, they said we're gathering our troops again for this.
Yeah, they
comeback.
were massing up some stuff. It really feels like Cobra Commander's pulling the team's, Cobra stuff back together behind the scenes. Yeah, they did hint that we're totally bringing everything together. Yeah. And the Joes came and were like, "Ba-doom, no, you're not."
So there's it's just a little more breadcrumbs, a little more story things creeping in, and I like it.
I want to say, Pat, you said the twins.
Yes.
I'm not sure that's plural.
Oh,
I think there's only one of them. If you were to read, I believe it is the Special Missions Antarctica that was out at this time. There's a little reveal of what's actually going on with one of the twins. Just going to put that nugget in there.
I told you he memorizes all these things. At this point, Pat and listeners out there, the G.I. Joe series got a couple of spinoffs. There's like Frontline, and
these were like
mini series.
One shots.
Yeah, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. So only Jim has memorized all these things. That's why he's the expert, and no one knows more than him.
Yeah. We may have to have Jim come in and give us little experts, call him Jim the Joe Junkie one shots.
By the way, Django Unfettered in the chat says he's giving a silver snake for zombie snake eyes.
Ooh, I like that. Zombie snake
I like
eyes.
it
That's
as
true.
well.
That's cool. Zombie snake eyes. That would be very interesting. All right. Well, now that we have this all taken care of, it's time to get to the segment we like to call Death Probe's Toy Chest.
It's here, the G.I. Joe collection, each sold separately. G.I. Joe from Hasbro.
Okay, Pat, in this segment, I'll take something or someone featured in this issue and give you a brief toy history on it. For this issue, I have selected the Crimson Guardsman.
Woo, woo, woo.
Woo. Crimson Guard was originally available in Series 4 in 1985. He had a red uniform with silver trim, black mask, gloves, and boots. He came with a red dress backpack and a black AK-48 Alpha rifle with bayonet. Man, there are a lot of variations. There are a lot of variations of this figure out there. And I'm talking specifically about the original 1985 version. When I mean variations, there are 5 different file cards, variations of the file card for this original figure, 2 different color variations of the figure itself with a different shades of red, 3 different backpacks made of different materials and different hints to the color, even plastic thickness. Like I think one of them was hollow and one of them was salt. It's wild. And there are 2 different necks involved in this figure as well. So if you're out there trying to collect every version of Crimson Guardsman from 1985, good luck. Now, I keep saying versions, I mean variations. When it comes to actual versions, as of the time of this recording in 3 3/4 inch versions, there are 17 versions of the Crimson Guard action figure in 3 3/4 inch scale. So yeah, you got a bunch of versions. Looking at the chat, it says Matt Paso says, of course, I had a Crimson Guardsman, great figure, amazing sculpt in any scale. Django Unfettered said he also had an 85 Crimson Guardsman, and I definitely had this one. I loved my Crimson Guardsman. You know what's weird is this is one of those ones that I don't think I paid enough attention to the file card to learn about sort of the whole Fred program and all that. And I just kind of thought he was like a field commander for Vipers, which isn't too far off really, but like he's much more of a clandestine operations, like you learn from the comics and the file card that they're all about being sort of embedded so much in the jungle that they've lost their minds. But yeah, what an interesting way to take what could have been sort of, as I thought of it, just sort of another troop builder and add some layers to it. But yes, I definitely I need to check in with you guys. I believe I still have my original one that I had 85. Pat, Crimson Guardsman, are you fancy like me?
I believe I did have a Crimson Guardsman. I don't know if I still have it from that old collection or not. But, and I always thought the Crimson Guard to me were like the Imperial Guard for the Emperor.
Yes, I always thought the two is in the same vein.
Yeah. So I thought they were a little more elite trooper than the normal.
Jim, I guess the real question is how many of the weird variations do you have? Because we all know Jim's got them toys.
I currently only have 2 of them. One of them still has the silver emblem pretty decently. But back in the day, I don't know if one of my brothers had them or I did, but I remember one of us having them. So
one of your brothers? There's more?
Yeah, I don't talk about him very much.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's a tantalizer for a later date.
He's younger than me, so he's the one that we don't talk about too much.
Clearly. All right. Thank you to those in the chat that jumped in on that. And that is your Death Probe's Toy Chest.
All right. Up next is our feedback segment called Combat Comms.
Call it G.I. Joe. Go get Breaker. He can do it.
As always, we want to start off Combat Comms with a roster of our battle-hardened Crusader Club veterans. These are the fine folks that have joined our Crusader Club. They enjoy early access to special Longbox video episodes, free raffle giveaways, voting on show programming, and so much more. So these are the folks reaping the benefits and giving some much appreciated support to the show.
Alan W. Wright.
And Helica Wolf. Ow!
Auburn Elvis, codename the King of the South, in the chat.
Bill Beer.
Billy B.
Bradley Dello, codename the Hollow.
Are we going to be putting up with this for the whole? Okay, it's good to know.
Braxton Underwood.
Carrie.
Clinton Robinson, codename the Robber.
Captain Entropy.
Clark Westfield.
Dave Collins, codename the Battle Wagon.
Battle wagon.
Eric Hodges.
Eric Porter.
Ezra Gallo, codename the Rooster.
Gary V.
Gene Hendricks.
George Meal,
Gerald Green.
Heinz K, who stopped by the chat.
Django Unfettered, in the chat.
Jason Keene.
Jason Lady.
Jeff Poyer, codenamed the Policeman.
Jim Jarman.
Jim Meal.
Codenamed Amelia.
It's not even your turn.
Joe Man Conan, codenamed the Barbarian.
Joe Thomas.
John Watson.
Josh Strickland, the Striker.
Candace Ward.
Captivating Kathy Bright, the MVP in the chat.
Matt and Lizzie Passo, the Poison Pair.
Mark Ross.
Michael Minton.
Miranda W., the Wanderer.
P.D. Devons.
Paul Hicks. Codename Paul Hicks.
Rick from Jeff and Rick Present, the Presenters.
Ronald Easterday.
Rob Morgan.
Samantha Maney, the Man-Eater.
Yeah, we encouraged him.
Sean Urbanski.
Snake Plissken.
Spidey, 67, the Spider.
Spreadsheet.
Steve Cronin.
Steve Martin,
Tim Price.
Tony Pennington.
and the Toronto Cop, codename the Maple Leaf. If we missed anybody on our list, we do apologize. Please keep in mind that we record these episodes well in advance of release. So if you are a recent addition, we should be adding you soon. But, still, don't worry about it. Just let us know that we missed you by sending an email to contact@longboxcrusade.com and we will get it all straightened out. You might be asking yourself, how do I become a Crusaders Club member? Well, it's very simple. Just head on over to patreon.com and search for the Longbox Crusade. For as little as $1 a month, you'll get access to all the amazing world of the Crusaders Club. Come and check it out. Now let's see what messages from our platoon of loyal listeners we have waiting for us on Breaker's Comsat.
Communications officer, code name Breaker.
These are from episode 60, where we covered America's Elite number 8. And joining us for that episode was Doug Dello. Do you want to start us off, Jim?
Sure will. Doug Dello says, I think Jarrod cut some of my rights out of the audio. Thank you, sir. LOL. And Longbox Crusade replied back, that's just the magic of editing. And I had Doug on the Outpost previously. And yes, there was some magic in editing.
We make everybody.
He did a
happy.
great job, so I appreciate it.
That's right.
He was a great guest.
We appreciate Doug. All right. Our friend Steve Martin says of America's Elite number 8, the cover of this issue gets a 10 hands down. Storm Shadow's 1,000-yard stare is soul-piercing. And the story high for me was Flint using his hurt to help. I'm a firm believer that sometimes in life you may experience pain in order to help someone else go through theirs later. And as usual, once again, you guys delivered a great show. Thank you for sharing my experience, and thank you for the kind words and the well wishes, and an extra special thank you for making me the Steve Martin. LOL. You guys are great. Until next time, oorah and yo Joe. Yo Joe, Steve, thanks for writing in. That was a YouTube comment, and we appreciate the heck out of it.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. I'll take our next one from G.I. Gary. And Gary says, great show with you guys and S Viper 72, which is the Dello, and hashtag Orsted's magic mushrooms will give you kicks. Sure will. They sure do. Mm-hmm. And they're tasty too. Come in many different flavors. Solid issue with an iconic cover, and God bless Steve. On behalf of all the research team, wishing him a full and expedient recovery. Yo, Joe.
Awesome. Thank you, Gary.
And the last one from Dennis Weatherall just simply says, hello, sir.
Hey.
How we doing? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, just a little Facebook comment. Just said hello, sir. What's up, Dennis?
Hey, what's up, Dennis? What's the weather all like out there?
All right.
As a reminder, you can call us and leave us a voice message as well that we would love to play. So go ahead and send us some send-ins and voicemails. We'd love to hear from you. You can do that by calling 707-532-5269. That number again is 707-532-LBOX. Pick up the phone. Pick up the phone. Pick it up. It's the Viper.
All right. And you know what? We did ask our listeners if perhaps they would send in some well wishes to our friend Steve Martin. And you know what? Somebody stepped up, Pat. Somebody stepped up. Let's give a listen to this.
Hey, this is Rick from Jeff and Rick Presents. I am calling for G.I. Joe Chronicles. I want to go ahead and give a message of congratulations and support to Steve. I think that's fantastic. I think that's great that you are recovering. I think it's wonderful that you listen to the show. I just have to question your sanity. Why does it have to be these guys and this show? Come on, man, you can do better. Seriously, though, keep it up. And thanks to Longbox Crusade for doing this for you and being an inspiration for you. Yo, Joe.
Oh, thanks, Rick, for sending that in and somehow keeping us humbled at the same time. That was very cool of you to do that, Rick. I hope Steve got to hear that on this episode, along with the well wish send in from Gary that he wrote in. So, yeah, there's a couple people out there rooting for you, along with all three of us that are here live right now, Steve. I hope you're doing really, really well. All right, that will bring us to mission complete status for this episode of G.I. Joe Chronicles. If you'd like to hear more from us in the realm of comic books, action films, vintage TV, movies, serials, and more, check out the entire Longbox Crusade Network. DJ Kristatos, where can they find that?
Well, Jarrod, I'm glad you asked. You can find the Longbox Crusade pretty much on all podcatchers out there, or go to www.longboxcrusade.com, or pretty much all social media and YouTube. Just search for @Longbox Crusade and we'll pop up. Back to you, Jarrod.
All right, folks, if you'd like to chat with us online, we can be found at... Back to you, Pat.
Oh, I always get duped on that one. You can find me on the X at Kristatos01. Jarrod, where can you be found?
I can be found at Yard Sale Artist on X, Facebook, and Instagram. It's all at Yard Sale Artist. Jim.
I can be found on Facebook as Jim Miel, JIMMIEL, and on X as Jim the Joe Junkie.
All right, folks, thanks for joining us for this episode of G.I. Joe Chronicles. We will see you on the battlefield next episode, where we will cover G.I. Joe Special Missions from Marvel number 10, Turnabout. Until then, platoon, fall out. Jim, I think I only need a Yo Joe from you.
Yo Joe.
The music themes for this show are done by musical genius Joe November. Please check out his SoundCloud at Josephline99. That's Josephline99. You will not regret it.